What's up, everybody? Welcome to the vestibule. Huel is not here. Of course he's not. No, this is Mr. Bus. I'm one of your hosts, Matt. This is our Better Call Saul review of episode 8 of season 4 of Better Call Saul. Joined today by Tyler and Bailey.
Hi.
And Mary in ghost form because I think she had a headache and she had to go to bed.
Yeah, she has work early.
She has work early too. So we won't be screaming. Well, we might still.
We probably will.
We probably still will. So this is going to be our review of episode 8. Before we get into it, if you like what we do, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube. We've given up on Spotify. You all know that by now. Completely. Fuck it. And on Twitter, at MrBus Pod, Facebook, just search Mr. Bus, Instagram, Mr. Bus Pod as well. We're going to jump straight into this really good episode, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
A lot of really good stuff happened, a lot of implications for the rest of the remainder of the final 2 episodes. We're going to jump straight into it. It's going to be all spoilers from here, so if you haven't watched the episode, what are you doing? Go watch it, come back, and hang out with us. All right, so... Dang, I feel like there's a lot to unpack in this episode, right?
Yeah, I mean...
we finally got to see a little bit of Nacho again. Fucking
fully healthy.
Yeah. What was the name of this episode, Tyler?
Coushatta,
which is the town in Louisiana.
The city, yeah.
Right, the city.
Which we live in Louisiana, and we've never
Yeah, I didn't even know that was real. I tell you what this episode wasn't called, How to Prevent an Ear Infection, because I don't think you should ever rip out somebody's
wait, why?
Fucking gauges out of their ear
like that.
Yeah,
that was awful.
Dude, oh man.
That was hardcore, though.
I was just sitting there like
Nacho.
cringing, seeing, he's
Nacho
really coming into his own now,
anyway,
right?
So.
Nacho's journey has been very interesting.
It has been.
And a very interesting choice to end the episode with him just seeing a character that we've never seen before.
I agree. Because it took me a second, too, to realize, like, have we seen him before?
No.
Like, who is he? And then when they started talking, then it was like, okay. So wait, do I have it right? Is he
he's a Salamanca.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so he's basically coming in to check up on everything.
He pretty much, I think, was saying, like, I'm good with numbers, aka I'm checking on the money.
Yeah.
So that you can't
AKA
take
Nacho,
me.
this isn't your show, at least not officially.
Even though I thought it was cool to see Nacho take, like, Hector's place in the beginning.
That was kind of cool.
And he was telling, who was the guy we said we recognized him?
Crazy Eight?
Crazy Eight. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name.
So wait, and again, this is me forgetting parts that happened in the show earlier. So Crazy Eight was in the show before, and he got fucking beat by who? What happened?
I don't know. I just know he's been in it before.
Okay. Never mind. We suck.
I thought he was the one that
it's been too
Nacho
long.
beat.
Was it because it was... okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that is what happened.
I might be wrong, because I know nothing, so I can look it up. But
I'm sure some asshole in the comments would be like, hey, y'all
let us
don't
know.
pay
But
enough attention to the show.
I thought he was the same one that Nacho beat up, like, in the beginning.
I think so.
Because he didn't, like, want to beat him up.
That's my best guess. And
I mean, the thing is, this show
is
is so much plot and everything. It's so impossible to remember when exactly Crazy 8 popped up.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's impossible to remember shit like that unless you literally just binged it, which I have not.
Mary did.
Mary did.
That
So
would have been.
Mary,
she can let us know next week.
She would have been the key force here, but she's
is.
gone. But no, that was cool to see kind of Nacho in that position.
And then rip the freaking earring out, and then the blood just like dripping everywhere. And he was telling Crazy Eight, like, why didn't you do it? Pretty much.
Well, because Crazy Eight obviously trying to kind of suck up to him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, you got to be a hard
like,
ass.
you got to do what you got to do.
And he's just kind of like, okay, well, you do it next time, buddy boy.
Yeah.
Moving on a little bit to a different part of the story, though, I guess we kind of threw me for a loop in this because last week we definitely thought that Kim and Jimmy definitely drifting apart, which they were.
Yeah.
But kind of cool to see them sort of
well, she like
go
always
around and come back.
Right.
I guess.
She
right?
always enjoyed when they did like scams and stuff at bars and
Yeah,
everything.
she
So
did.
it's not
Back
really
in-
surprising me that.
Yeah, going back to season 2, I remember. Wasn't that season 2? I think the first episode in season 2 is when they kind of just like sat at that bar and just
And they just like come up with stories
Yeah.
to like scam people, and
Right.
she always enjoyed that. So I'm not really surprised that she enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it took us
this.
again. That kind of took us the whole episode to see. We just kind of saw them kind of meshing together again,
Oh yeah.
and banging each other again.
Yeah, well,
it's
they-
always good to see in a healthy, loving relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then at the end, it was just that was kind of like,
I think
damn.
I think she's just hyped off the adrenaline.
She
Well,
probably
that's the
is.
thing. Like she just, I don't know, likes the thrill of it all.
She needs something exciting going on in her life.
Yeah. And Jimmy spent like 2 days on a bus writing letters and stuff.
Yeah, that took me a while to figure out what was
Yeah,
going
I
on.
I had
there.
no clue either.
Well, when the episode started too, I hadn't really remembered. I think you were saying too, Tyler. Like, I kind of forgot exactly how the last episode ended. Just that I wasn't. It was on the cusp of my mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then it did take me a second to be like, oh, that's all the kind of office supplies that Kim bought at the end of
Yeah.
the last episode, but I was still like, okay, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was gonna have something to do with school, but I mean, it makes
With
it.
school.
I love the website too that they show with Huel.
Oh, God.
And he's in all the different pictures. He's like a choir boy.
He's painting a white
He's
wall.
painting a wall
All
and
those
then
pictures were
making
so
a
funny.
They were
garden,
fucking
and
hilarious.
he's just sitting there like with his thumb up. Oh my God, I love that so much.
Oh God. Did anybody else think it was weird that once when she started calling the numbers or whatever, and they went to Jimmy and and those
His,
were
like,
the
team?
Yeah, that was his team back from when he filmed the commercial and
Yeah.
everything, right? Same kids.
They've been
It was.
reoccurring since the first
yeah.
season, I'm pretty sure.
So they were in the courtroom doing that,
In the courtroom.
or
No,
like in the
no,
courthouse.
He
I mean.
left. He left wherever he was with the kids, I believe.
They were in the. They
Oh,
were
okay,
at his
'cause-
office at the nail salon.
All right,
It
that
was a
makes so
weird-
much
it
more
was a-
sense.
it was a
The
weird
way-
cut.
Right, the
Yeah.
transition from that was he like left. He closed the door, and then he's
And then
next thing
he
you know, he's
appeared.
peeking through
Yeah,
the.
no, they just skipped.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
'cause-
he left them and like made them stay behind,
Right.
Because he was like, "You got the full
This,
pay."
this show is doing
bitches.
more skips and skips like that.
Yeah,
Like,
which makes sense. I mean, that is just kind of something that confused me, but at the end, I mean, it makes sense that they weren't actually in there because, like, my reasoning skills were starting to think like, hey, well, wait, what sense does that make?
Yeah.
You're really putting yourself right on the
Yeah.
edge there, right? You want to live dangerously, I suppose. But yeah, so that whole thing really worked out. I kept waiting for something. You know, the second she found a phone number, I was like, "Okay, what's gonna happen now?
I also
How's she
was-
gonna figure it out?"
I was like, "Why the hell would these people put phone numbers? That makes no sense." And
Right.
then I was
Then
like,
you realized, oh, he had all
this
his phones.
whole
Oh,
friggin' time.
Yeah.
I mean, scheme of the century.
The
in my
scheme of
mind.
the century.
the details in the show is crazy. I can see why
just
it
how
takes so
everything
long to write it.
Oh, for sure. Because everything they do in the show, it's always like
It's-
this has to connect back to
it's
that.
incredibly
or-
detailed.
It really is. Okay, so all of that. Now we go to
with
Mike,
yeah.
and I guess finally giving the boys a break, right? You know,
Right.
go over to strip club, have some fun, do your thing.
Yeah, fantasy.
I trust all of you, right?
Right.
But, what's our dude's name?
The Ryan Johnson lookalike.
I'm thinking of the guy that fucked it
Kai.
all. Well, I guess he
yeah.
didn't fuck it all. The Ryan Johnson dude did fuck it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kai kind of got a little bit in over his head. We got to see Mike in a true terrifying form. I feel. I felt like in the darkness when he was standing there with just the little lamplight shine on his face, he looked like he was about 95 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I was like more so than ever. I was like, damn, dude, man, you might need to sit down for a second. But
Getting winded.
a little bit.
Who, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. He looks.
But
super
at the
old.
same
He
time,
looks kinda
terrifying. When Kai's just like, I paid for this, and Mike just turns
He's-
around and he's like, you're done.
He literally
He's-
was just like, "Try me," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Shit, don't try him, please."
like, get out- get
Actually,
him
yeah,
outta there.
get this guy out of here because he's like messing everything up. But he
so-
didn't. He wasn't the one that messed everything up.
Well, yeah, it ended up being our boy
I'm looking up
Ryan
his
Johnson.
name, because it's obviously not Ryan Johnson.
Me and Tyler have come to the conclusion that the
He does-
main
the thing-
leader dude looks a lot like Ryan Johnson, acclaimed director of The Last Jedi and Looper.
You could say that.
You could say. But yeah, so that kind of, I guess what? A few too many beers. I'm just gonna go spoil my plans of building a meth
It's
lab.
almost
to
like he
the-
was like trying
the
to
locals.
right? Like he's like showing off like how cool
Yeah, I
and great
guess
it
so.
is what they're doing, and it didn't like at first you're like, oh yeah, he's just like an architecture like showing this, but then when he was like, yeah, the German in Albuquerque talking about underground buildings,
Right. The
And it's
dots
like, oh,
connect
shit,
themselves
you're right,
pretty
that's
quickly
awful.
on that.
The guys would never figure any of that out.
They
Yeah, I
wouldn't,
wouldn't
but
think
it's
so
still
either.
like-
And I'm glad Mike wasn't so quick to just be like, you know, like, here's our friendship. You did this now. You know, and Mike's got a
Right.
job to do, obviously, right? We know Mike is a professional with what he does. So I feel like everything Mike did from that point on was justified. But I feel like they've made that character, Ryan Johnson. They've made him. They've made him
Good
very
old Ryan.
likable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They
So,
did.
and they did that on purpose. And 2 episodes left. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I mean,
Well, I'm
it
assuming
seems
it's
like
not going to be done
well,
because they're way behind.
that, but also I think just throwing that whole thing in there, like, it isn't out of the realm of possibility now that something he said at that bar is going to come back to create. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, as much as I like the character, and I think a lot of people do, I think he's kind of like disposable or dispensable in the sense that, like,
They're building it to that.
yeah,
way.
they're building it to like the last episode of this season could be something very bad happening. I think to him, who knows?
Oh dang, I would hate that though.
I would too. But you know,
You really grow to love the Mike dynamic with him. I don't know. I want them
Yeah.
to be buddies forever, but I know it's not going to happen. So
yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it. Mike obviously then has to break the news to Gus that they're behind, that the work is solid, as he says, right? But they are just kind of like, okay, halfway done at best, right? Gus seems fine, right?
It's only because it's Mike.
Yeah.
I feel like he is literally the only person that Gus respects.
Right. He is.
Because other than that, I feel like Gus would have been like, no.
And Gus has done that at multiple points in the season and just throughout, like, what we know of Gus, right? Like, he trusts Mike, and he'll like look for Mike's opinion on something, and he does trust him. So Mike's words and Mike's decisions not to just completely like rain down hell on this guy, definitely kind of, probably saved his life, right? I mean, because Gus would have just been so quick to be like, okay, bring back in that other guy that said he could do it in like 4 months or something.
Yeah, the one with the like van episode where everybody's gonna throw up. And
Shout back out to that. Yeah, so did I miss any other storylines from this?
Other than like the new guy showing up at the end, because we talked about that a little in the beginning.
What do we think of him?
I was wondering what kind of food he was making.
I did like the side.
Oh my god, the thing where he was just like, "You're gonna die."
Yeah,
to
side
Nacho.
comment. Yeah,
and I was just like, "Damn, that's
very colorful
deep.
language there." I wouldn't think he'd come in and spike the food right off the bat, right? But who knows?
No, but I was just thinking of it as like,
oh well, yeah, definitely. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, I mean,
he said it for that reason. It's to make you think like.
And it was so weird too because he's like, "You're gonna die," but like it was like a happy thing. And
he's the kind of
shit.
just the way that dude was acting and fucking cooking and dancing around. He's the kind of character.
He seemed like a fun guy.
He seemed like a fun guy, but he seemed like he could last 2 episodes could potentially be a fucking terrifying guy.
Yeah, because those are always the creepier ones where it's they seem super happy and nice, and then he just like stabs you in the face, and you're like, "Whoa." That escalated. I don't know if that's gonna happen. But.
Looking at the preview for next week, I think we got a glimpse of why can't I think of Salamanca's name right now?
Hector.
Hector. We got a glimpse of him in a wheelchair, right?
Yep.
So like a real quick glimpse. So he might be out of his bed
with the bell.
It looks like obviously the next episode 9, is probably gonna be the penultimate episode. You can expect probably a lot's gonna happen. With all these storylines kind of coming to like a culminating point. So next week should be crazy.
I'm hoping it will be.
For Better Call Saul.
Because I like this episode a lot, but I'm like hoping next week's going to be like starting to end everything.
Oh, well, it will. It definitely will.
No,
I think
all be all kind of shit.
all kinds of shit. But yeah, so that's our review of episode 8 again. We'll be back. We got two more weeks of this left.
Dang.
And it's ramping up real quick. You definitely don't want to miss it. As we said before, we are Miss the Bus. We do a weekly show that comes out Thursday mornings where we talk about news and just crazy random fun stuff.
Of things.
So if you liked this in any capacity, go check that out. And for now,
toodaloo.
That's it. Toodaloo.
Goodbye.